My name is Farooq Muhammad Zati, BIB student from FBMB. I would like to present my thesis topic, People Reactions and Behavior on Social Network among the MSU students. To my panelists, Dr. Amalina binti Abdul Ghani and Ms. Siti Hanim bin Abdul Ghani, and also would like to say special thanks to my supervisor, Dr. Ahmad Mutahar. Here is the presentation outline from the introduction, literature review, methodology, and finally analysis. This study aimed to focus on understanding how people reactions and behaviors on social network among the MSU students that differentiate between using social network. The most common discriminations is identify personal and environmental antecedents to information sharing on social networking site, and examining the interaction effect was investigated. Human behavior defines how humans behave and how they communicate, but it has a vital genetic component, hence social-cultural impact. Social networking has altered the human interaction in many ways, ranging from the sharing to working and learning to the game players and playing. Not only has social media changed our cognitive abilities, but it's also controlled our attitudes and social interactions. It's essential to use the social network because they have developed new communication styles that directly impact our daily activities. Social media also allow people to similar interests to come together and give everyone more ideas. This studies is examining why people behave and react differently on the social network, especially among the MSU student. How does an individual act in society determined by upbringing status and hereditary characteristics, among other factors, or inborn impulse affect individual differently? For example, suppose a splendid moody individual responds fiercely to a situation that finds itself uncomfortable, or is this a type of character that is difficult to eradicate from the present behavior since it's already encoded in genes from the conception among the student? And sometimes people behave differently and react in the crowd differently, as is desire to fit by imitating others, or the feeling limited by the observation and become excited by the crowd noise and behavior, or it may react to the local condition and culture. From this perspective, then we can see that MSc students act differently when they are there by themselves or by their groups. Based on the previously mentioned research question, this session will begin with a review of this research overall objective, followed by breakdown on the particular purpose to determine the justification or intent of this reason. The following objectives are present. Research question: are the students react to and behave at the individualizations on the social network? Are the students behave and react based on the true feeling on the social network? Or is there the desire to fit in by imitating others in the social network? This is my framework and hypothesis. Hypothesis 1, to examine the individualization, the negative effect on the social network. Second, to examine online distribution effect on the social network. Hypothesis 3, to examine the dissociation initiative on the social network. On the research method, target populations. We target approximately around 200 people from the questionnaire, and after we receive the result, we integrate them into the sample selections. Sample size and the approach of the purposive sampling was used to utilize the constructs to sample of the research under the considerations. According to these methods, which belong to the category of the sample members, are selected based on their knowledge, opinion, and expertise regarding the research subject, and the selected sample members had a particular link with the issues under inquiry, sufficient and awareness of the raw data related to the destination. Within this backdrop, this participation of the studies was executive of 202 responders will be tested in the survey. Sampling technique that is used by the researcher to acquire the market research data from the pool of the readily available respondents. Is it most often used to sampling technique because it's of the speed, simplicity, and economy. Members are frequently impossible to participate in the sampling in the case of involving the huge populations research employs a variety of sampling strategies. In the majority of the case, the testing the entire communities is almost impossible due to the remote locations. So it can be used a convenient sampling that in this instance where additional inputs are not required by the primary inquiries. Summary of the measurements. This chapter describes the methodology in use for the student that during the studies that also discuss the area of the study that rationalized for choosing. Let's also discuss the research design, data type, and collection method, question and design, sampling, and data analysis. Additionally, it discussed how instruments were validated and how data were collected and analyzed from IV to DV, online distribution. In fact, with the 5-item alpha 0.892 on a scale of 1 to 5, distribution imagination with the 4-item alpha 0.756 on a scale of 1 to 5, DV individualization with the 5-item alpha 0.844 on a scale of 1 to 5, and the social network usage with the 3-item alpha 0.830 with scale of 1 to 5. Next, a sample is a subset of people, things, and stuff drawn from the largest populations for the purpose of measuring. The sample is used to be representative of the populations in order to ensure that the finding of the study sample can be generalized into the entire populations. Frequency analysis is descriptive statistic techniques that used to be determine the frequency of the occurrence of each response selected by the respondents. SPS statistic can calculate the mean of median and mode when performing the frequency that to analyze the assist users in analyzing the results and drawing the conclusions. Here's with the genders, age, education, nationalities, and race, and on demographic. Each demographic instrument has the same minimum statistic, which is 1, but differs in maximum statistic between 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is maybe because of the instrument contain a variable number of possibilities, while others such as the genders may only contain 2, where the majorities of the alternative 5 are age-related. This mean of the data is 1.49, with the lowest mean of the nationality being of 1.42, owing to the majority of the respondents being Malaysian. Race is variable with the highest mean at 4.24. The standard deviation of the data measures that data set distribution around the mean. The standard deviation for the variable in the tables varies between 0.4 and 1, depending on the instrument used to measure them. The descriptive statistic table for the independent and dependent variable summarizes the data collected from the survey 202 respondents. All the variables have an equal minimum and maximum values due to the use of the Likert scales, which has minimum of 1 to the maximum of 5. The survey used a 5-point Likert scale with a 1 indicating strong disagreement, 2 indicating disagreement, 3 indicating neutrality, 4 indicating an agreement, and 5 indicating a strong agreement. Additionally, the mean of the survey answer is utilized to test the hypothesis. The standard deviation of this variable is minimal, indicating that the study's significance is due to the lowest dispersions. Race has the biggest standard deviation at the 7.68, and the gender has the lowest of the 0.501. The reliability test is used to determine the reliability of the question item. Chronobatch alpha is the most frequently used the metric of the reliability. The standable and more improved number for chronobatch alpha is 0.7. Meanwhile, the chronobatch alpha value is greater than 0.7, indicating that a acceptable reliability according to the client guideline that dependability of the 0.7 was greater considered to be acceptable. The following section summarizes that the finding of the statistical test conducted on the variable under considerations, dissociative imagination with the reliability of 0.86, the individualization of 0.85, online distribution effect with the 0.77, and social network usage with 0.88. The correlation is a statistical word that refers to the degree which the two variables move in unison. If the two variables move in the same directions, the correlation is positive. They have the negative correlation that they have traveled in the opposite directions. In addition, there were strong correlations between the independent variables. The individualization and online disposition effect with a score of 1s. In note that the weak correlations between the individualization and the social network with score of a 697. In the meantime, the correlation between the disquotative and online disposition states that the relationship with a score of 0.6 for the analysis 2 were rejected and the volume 1 is approved. Result in the table present that analysis conducted on the relationship between all of these independent variables, namely individualization and online disposition in fact, and disquotative empirically. Only one is an independent variable that found to influence the MSU student behavior and reaction significantly. The result shows that indicate that R2 value for the regression was 0.903, equals to 90.3%, while adjusted R2 shows that 0.903 equals to 90% is of the variant is explained by the individualizations and online exhibition effect, and disquotative the independent variable, which mean of the 90.3% of the change in the social network usage for the independent variable. Furthermore, the result of the regression analyzed that identified the factors of the individualization it did not influence the social network among the MSU student. This finding shows that coefficient for the individualization was 0.52, t equals to 1.348, p equals to 0.255, where the p equals to 0.01, which is not significant. Therefore, the first hypothesis was not supported. On the other hand, this equation imagination showed that a significant positive relation with the social network, where the values of the coefficient was 0.33, t equals 0.035, where p is equals 0.972, where is p represented by 0.01. The beta coefficient for disquotative imagination was 0.913, which indicate for that every rise of this equation imagination that could be contribute the change of the social network by 9.13. Thus, the third hypothesis was supported. The result is consistent with the finding previous of the study by the Emily, Sarah Birch, and Sheng Wu, who also found the positive influence of disquotative imagination on the social network. Finally, the result shown that online exhibition in fact has significant lower relationship with the social network, where the coefficient value of the online exhibition in fact was 0.001, t equals to 1.348, p equals to 0.001. The result indicate that online exhibition in fact could influence the social network among the MSU students. This is also supported by the previous research finding, Sheng Wu, Tang Qingling, and Zhao Fanxi, which argue that online exhibition in fact social network decreasing by the ability to remain completely anonymous, invisible behind the computer screen. Therefore, the third hypothesis, H3, cannot be supported. Drawing upon the integrated viewpoint of psychological, social, and environmental dimensions, these studies construct a conceptual model to explore the significant elements in social network behaviors and reaction online. Disquotative imagination serves a significant positive relationship with the social network, while finally the result shows that the online exhibition in fact has a significant lower relationship with the social networks. This study developed a more comprehensive model to better understanding the elements of that contribute to the formation of the social networks. We begin with the psychological factors, discussing the effect of a discriminative anonymity and de-individualization, as well as the influence of the online disposition effect. Individual can conceal or alter portion of their identity and induce others to misidentify them, so enabling them to engage in hostile behavior far more readily. Thank you.